sports reporter Edwin. Hello to you, sir. We're not talking just about the coaching issues, Edwin. We're also talking about that all-important Congress, that conference coming up to elect a new SAFA presidential hopeful. Right now, Ria Ledwaba kicking off her campaign into overdrive. Let me just name some of the organizations she has roped in. Operation Dudula, Put SA First, People's Parliament, Soccer Legends and ex-professionals to march to SAFA House. Help me understand, Edwin, good morning to you. The call here is about what she is calling a consultative conference. What does that mean in local football?
Well, morning, Gareth. Obviously, you've just had the player's perspective with Matthew Booth. We're now focusing on the administrative side of it with Ria Ledwaba hoping to be elected SAFA president on the 25th of June. Failing that, I mean, there's a court case this morning in the Pretoria High Court. She's trying to stop this elective Congress from taking place. Just to give you a context in terms of how, football works all around the world. FIFA takes a very dim view of, courts getting involved in the game. And you will remember that SAFA CEO Tebogo Motlanthe has said that, in fact, approaching the local courts is the wrong strategy for Ria Ledwaba. They should, in fact, consider approaching the Court of Arbitration for Sport in Zurich. That's the jurisdiction. You mentioned all those organizations that are giving her support. We're supposed to start a march this morning. We're here at the Hector Peterson Memorial. That's where the Operation Dudula group is supposed to be leaving to go to SAFA House. But just let me bring in the organizer of today's march, Gareth. It's Kennedy Makara. He's also a soccer legend. He represents some of those legends. He works closely with the likes of Shakes Mashaba, former Bafana coach, and he's leading this march today to SAFA House. He joins me this morning. Kennedy, morning.
Morning, Edwin, and the viewers at home.
So what do you guys hope to achieve? I mean, Gareth mentioned that Ria Ledwaba is asking for a soccer in Daba instead of the elective conference. I mean, how realistic is that?
My brother, this thing started long ago. Maybe let me just give an explanation of why we are here and wearing the cap of Soccer Dudula. Wearing a cap of Operation Dudula, being also a former professional footballer myself. When we quit football, most of us went to SAFA and said to SAFA, can we be part of assisting in making sure that the glory days of football are brought back? You would remember that during the times of Shakes Mashaba, during the times of Dr. Kumalo, South Africa achieved a lot, but the standard of football has got down. And then we made our own research. Is it the kind of players that we have in the country? Are we not producing players like the late Chipa Masinga? Are we not producing players like the late Computer Lambula? And then we found out that no, those players are still there. And then we had to look also what is deeper, what is the problem. Then we said, is the administration of football correct? Are we unearthing talent correct? Are we led correct as footballers? But then the answer was no. And then we started those negotiations with SAFA, and then we hit the rock. So then we went, so now as a member of Operation Dudula, Operation Dudula has a wide spectrum. We are for the locals. We are for the locals. We are not a xenophobic structure, but we are saying if there are better locals, why can't we make use of our own? Let me give an example, the national team coaches. You see, we cannot have a foreign national team coach who will not take us where we want, and we had local coaches who could take us where we are supposed to be as a country. Let me just make an example as an open secret. We know what happened with Coach Shakes Mashaba. We know what happened with Coach Pitso Musimani. Immediately when we fired Pitso Musimani, he went in to shine outside our country, so that cannot be proper. So it means that we are not led properly, hence the march today, you see.
Yes, you're backing Ria Ledwaba for the presidency, but yes, obviously you guys are operating outside of the structure. You're not recognized by SAFA. Yes. How will that impact on her bid to become SAFA president when you guys do not have any influence within the organization?
Yes, SAFA is a people's organization. SAFA, it's not an organization of an individual, and we are the community. you know, development of football starts here from the community. So now here we find a leader in Ria Ledwaba, in Mama Ria Ledwaba. We've engaged with Mama Ria Ledwaba. We've questioned Mama Ria Ledwaba. How are you going to bring change? So Mama Ledwaba is talking about inclusiveness. The reason why we want an Indaba, a soccer Indaba, we want all the stakeholders, civil society, former professional players, coaches association, everybody must sit down and say, how can we best drive this organization and bring back glory days and do justice to football in our country. So that is why we are 100% fully behind Mama Ria. Yes, we've heard that there is a conference that's supposed to sit on the 25th, and we are saying no. It cannot happen. That conference must not sit. It must first be a sports indaba. We need to look at the statutes. We need to look at the constitution of SAFA. Is it a just constitution? Does it include everybody? Does it cover everybody, or does it cover individuals? So now it's an open secret. It's just that the matter is sub judice, the matter is in the courts. But we have it on good authority that the constitution does not do justice. Ask any football player. It cannot be normal. All the footballers in the country have only one vote. They have only one vote. An affiliate member of ourselves there as Soccer Legends, it's Amlafa. That structure on its own, it has challenges. We have raised those challenges. I remember in the meeting, SAFA was represented by a certain guy called Andy Lendengesi. Denny Jordan was there. SAFA was represented by Andy Lendengesi. We raised that. Ourselves were represented by Sheikhs Mashaba, Computer, Lamula. I'll mention all those names. And SAFA decided to cast a blind eye on that.
Okay, we'll chat a bit later when we get to SAFA House. Let me just stop you there because we've run out of time. The streaming in my ear at the office. We'll chat a little bit later when we get to SAFA House, and a memorandum is supposed to be handed over, but it looks completely against the grain for anybody who's supporting Ria Ledwaba, because Denny Jordan says he's got the support of most of the 52 SAFA regions in the country. Back to you, Gareth.